I'm Jude. This is the Pretty Plant Project, and today I'm just going to be talking about Tradescantias. So I've got a couple in my collection so far. One of the things I love about Tradescantia is that they come in lots of different colours, and one of my favourite colours is purple, as you may have guessed. So yeah, some of these come in beautiful ranges of purple, which get more vibrant as you expose them to sunlight. So the ones I've got here on the table, this is a purple heart. Grown outdoors, it gets really vibrant, gorgeous purple colour, as you can see here. Again, really easy to well, they're all really easy to propagate. The only thing to note with the Tradescantias is that they can be outdoors. Some of them, like the purple heart, can cope with direct sunlight. However, once it gets to that time of year where it gets colder, they are a bit frost sensitive, so they will die if you leave them exposed to frost, unfortunately. And I learnt that the hard way with this guy. So it was absolutely beautiful. I propagated a heap of them, and I thought, oh, I'll make this gorgeous long display, purple display in the garden, it'll be great. And winter started rolling in and the first frost, and they all started looking really, really sad. So just something to note with these guys. Watch out for frosts. The next one that I have, this is one of my favourite little guys. This is a Tradescantia tricolour. So it's got the beautiful creams and pinks and greens through it. One of the ways to keep the variegation really nice is if you see an all green section, if it's reverting to green, then just snip that bit off, and that will encourage more of the variegated sections to grow. That's sticky beak sid, the what are they? Lorikeets in our apple trees, so they're very noisy. This one here is a Tradescantia zebrina. Again, beautiful purple colouring and really easy to propagate. One thing to note about Tradescantia is that they don't particularly like water on their foliage. So when you water them, you need to try and ideally have one of those watering cans that has a relatively long spout where you can sort of stick it right in there and water the plant from the bottom beneath the leaves. If you water it on top of the leaves, they go mushy or they go brown, and all of a sudden your plant starts looking very average. As time goes on, some of the leaves will eventually start dying off, and you can just pull them off really easily. So that's the Tradescantia zebrina. I also have one over here. I have a jar of propagations of the zebrina, as you'll see here, and it looks a little bit different. It looks a little bit more grey, not as vibrant in colour to this one. So this one's actually been sitting on my front porch where it's gotten some direct sunlight and also just generally really bright indirect light for the rest of the time. So the more light they're exposed to, the more vibrant they're going to be. I'm tangled. So this one, once I put it up, if I put it in the same position, it will get more and more colour, just like this. The next one is a quicksilver, so it's a white and green, I almost said blue, a white and green variegation on this one. I've seen lots of people use these in head planters, so a pot plant that looks like a lady's face or something like that, or a character of some sort, and Tradescantia looks great as hair. So that's an idea for the peeps. This one here, I'll take it out of its big pot, but this one here is a Tradescantia Nanouk. I initially had a couple, it was a little bit finicky when I first got it. Wasn't sure if it wanted to live or die for a little bit, but this one's gorgeous. It's got the pink and green variegation, but the thing I love about it is if you look underneath, or if the sun shines through it, I don't know if you can get it there, you get some really beautiful pink hues. So my long-term plan for this guy is to have it up in a hanging basket where the sunlight can come through it a bit more, so you get that gorgeous pink variegation coming, or the pink highlights coming through. So there's plenty of other types, but these are the ones that I have at the moment. Propagating these guys is really, really easy. So these propagations came from this plant here. Basically, all you have to do is snip off a part of the plant, strip the leaves back on the base, and pop them in water, and you'll see, I don't know if you can see there, bottoms of these propagations have roots all over them. So let me just see if I can extract one. Maybe I need to extract all of them. These guys have been in here for a little while. They rooted really quickly, but I've had a lot going on of late, so this is not the greatest example. Hold on, I'll get a different one. I've neglected this a little bit, so some of the cuttings probably haven't been sitting as far in the water as they should have been. But anyway, let's have a look at this guy. Let's see if I can stuff this back in. I'll be putting this up in a second, so never fear. But yeah, so this is an example of one of the propagations. So I've just taken a section, I've stripped back the leaves that have come from down the bottom of the propagation, and that's where the roots, you can see the roots have come from those nodes. So every time there's like a bit of a, what looks like a join where the leaf is coming from, that's called a node, and that's where the roots develop. So when you do move these plants, sometimes little pieces fall. Whoop, can't see me. Sorry about that. When you move these plants, sometimes you get casualties and little bits break off, but that's fine because you can propagate these really easily. So when I move this plant, this is one of the sections that fell off. So I haven't done anything with it yet, but what I'll do, I'll strip off the bottom couple of leaves. So I make this bare stem, and if you can see the joints there, or the nodes all the way down the stem. Pop this in water, in a couple of weeks you'll have a new plant. The best way to plant these guys is with multiple propagations in the one pot. Essentially I could take this whole pot, this whole jar full of propagations, pop them straight into a normal pot with potting mix, and have quite a lush display straight away. So when you're moving these plants, they break a little bit, don't stress. That just means that you're going to have more plants in your future if you decide to propagate. So if you did want to actively propagate and look for something, there we go. I've already got my first propagation, but you could select a section, just give it a snip. The nodes run all the way down with these plants, so you have plenty of different areas on the section that you've chosen to for it to root from. So I might just take one more of those off. Bam bam, we've got our propagation, and we can just put that straight in a jar. Same with this one. Just take the bottom couple of leaves off. Another section there. Bang bang. And as long as the bottom stems stay in water, they will root, or they should root. You still need to put them in, somewhere that has a bit of light and that isn't freezing cold and all the rest of it. But indoors in a jar, in a glass, you can multiply your collection really, really easily. This is Tradescantias. They're really easy. Remember to water them underneath their leaves or from the bottom. They like relatively normal soil. That they don't need anything particularly too special. They kind of like to be, watered relatively regularly, and I'm not saying every day or anything like that. Don't get crazy. But generally, I water most of these once a week. Rule of thumb, when they're looking dry, water them again. But they can stay a little bit on the moister side. That's it for Tradescantias today. Thanks for stopping in, thanks for listening, and see you next time.